Jim, thanks so much. We'll talk to you in just a bit. An exclusive KTLA report on a dangerous but legal drug has lawmakers working to close the loophole and get the drug off the market. The drug is sold as bath salts. And the reason it's legal is because the packaging states that it's not for consumption. Here's Cher Calvin now with an update on the designer drug crackdown.
Well, just a few months ago, KTLA's special investigation into bath salts blew the lid off the latest underground drug craze. Sold legally and over the counter, the so-called cocaine copycat is believed to have a direct link to emergency room visits and, even more disturbing, suicides and murder. Since our exclusive investigation, there are new laws banning the sale of bath salts. And now, in this designer drug crackdown, we revisit a teen who was being treated for an addiction to the white powder and find even bigger bombshells about this deadly synthetic high.
I would say it's my main choice because it's cheaper than any other street drug. It's stronger and it's more available.
19-year-old Kenny Pete Zach talking about bath salts, the shocking synthetic drug many parents knew nothing about until KTLA's exclusive investigation exposed the dangers of the designer dust 5 months ago.
The usage of it over the last 6 months has skyrocketed. Anywhere from 20 to 50% of our clients are claiming that they've used it because it's just so readily available.
We first learned about how deadly the addiction to bath salts could be when the rehab facility, A Better Tomorrow, gave us unprecedented access to patients struggling to break free from the legal high. Kenny was one of them.
Well, I had a period of sobriety.
Rehab quickly turned to relapse when Kenny was back on the streets, face to face with the still legal substance.
I was rooming with some people who were making the actual bath salts and selling them to the head shops. They were cutting them just like any other drug, buying jars, putting it inside, labeling them bath salts, and selling them right to the head shop.
Yes, that's right. Kenny claims the professionally packaged powder is actually made in suburban homes, not in research labs.
They just put whatever they have in it. There's no quality control. All these say right on the label clearly, not for human consumption, and that gets the manufacturers off the hook with the FDA.
A controversial legal loophole KTLA uncovered.
It's amazing what KTLA is doing and informing the community and everyone involved.
After our special report this past May, government officials have teamed up with KTLA-5 in its war against designer drugs. Now, just a few weeks ago, the bath salts ban bill, AB 486, was signed by the governor, making the sale of this packaged poison illegal. But that is not enough.
We've had some good legislation as a start, but I think moving forward, we have to engage a little more aggressively to make sure that we control these chemicals.
With the help of Senator Lou Correa, State Assembly Member Chris Norby.
Oh, I supported it, and I hope it's successful.
And Orange County Board Supervisor Sean Nelson.
Not only are they harmful, but there's an entire fraudulent marketing campaign being rolled out to try and suggest that it's something it isn't. I mean, we wouldn't sell whiskey as juice.
A new law may be on the books, but this task force warns bath salts are now being repackaged as other familiar household products like plant food.
Any head shop in the state of California, if they might have changed the name from last week, but they have the same products on the shelf that they had, 4 months ago.
So no matter what this synthetic drug is called today or tomorrow, remember the age-old adage, you can't judge a book by its cover. Users of the drug can experience severe, long-lasting paranoia, plus bouts of extreme violence. And in one recent incident, a man broke into a monastery and stabbed a priest in Pennsylvania. Now, the long-term effects are unknown, but the DEA considers them, quote, potentially severe. Of course, KTLA will make sure to bring you all the latest action when it comes to this designer drug crackdown. Cher Calvin, now back to you guys.
Cher, thanks for that. Joining us now, Tammy Scarcella from A Better Tomorrow Rehabilitation Center.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Tammy. And I know, you and I were talking about it. Neither you or I had heard about this.
I thought it was a gag when I first heard about it.
Cher brought up this report. So how prevalent is it?
It's very big. At A Better Tomorrow, we're seeing more and more people coming in addicted to the bath salts. And of course, families are thinking that it's something you find in your bathroom or on the counters of a neighborhood store, but really it's just the label. It's the name that's making it bath salts.
Yeah, I think that's what throws off a lot of parents out there. They hear bath salts and they're thinking about things that they're actually sprinkling into the water. This is not the case. They're coming up with all different titles for something that they're putting up their nose, basically.
Right. It's the chemical compound mephedrone that's being labeled. They just make different labels, different names for it every time that they put a ban on something such as bath salts. And then they're just going to name it something else. And it really is a matter of the authorities catching up with these people behind making the drugs to make a big impact and stop the process of actually making the drug, that main chemical compound.
I mean, you were saying, yeah, now it's showing up as plant food and such. So, I mean, these bath salts are not something I'm finding at Bed Bath & Beyond. I mean, this is something that is only sold at these smoke shops. Smoke shops, gas stations, truck stops. A lot of truck drivers use them. You know, it's not just teenagers that are doing this. It's people of all, we have people of all races, ages, everything. It's just a matter of the person themselves. You said you started to get a line on this back in 2010. Did it start here? Is this something that's importing from Europe? How did this all begin? It actually started in Asia, and in Europe is when they really started noticing it and putting a ban on it. And just now in 2010 and 11 is where it became more prevalent in America. Wow, so it's just word of mouth, really, between people. How addictive are these bath salts? Very addictive, very addictive. This is a very powerful drug, and it's very common and comparable to methamphetamines, and it gives them the same high. You know, people will notice teeth grinding and real erratic behavior and paranoia that comes with that. Now, parents that are at home, what should they be looking for? I mean, they've got to be proactive on this type of thing. You go into the kid's room, what are you looking for? You have to be very vigilant and aware of what's going on, and parents and loved ones really need to be looking for the packaging that looks, you know, similar to, you know, incense or, you know, it would say bath salts on it or plant food. So it's the packaging they need to look for. They need to look for the behavior. And really, they need to trust their gut instincts. If you think something's wrong, more than likely something's wrong. And we have a team at A Better Tomorrow that 24 hours, 7 days a week, where they could call and speak to live counselors to really help them find out if that's the case. Sure. And that once you do become addicted to this, how do you break free from it? Treatment. It actually takes treatment, and it takes time to, for the brain to heal and the chemicals to be gone from the body, for them to really start being able to get back into the normal functions of life, because it's devastating what it does to the nervous system and to the human body. Now, years ago, when methamphetamine started to become popular, the federal government stepped in very quickly and took the stuff and took it out of the aisle at the grocery store, put it behind the counter, really started cracking down on things. Why isn't the DEA doing the same thing about this? They're trying, but unfortunately, again, these people behind designing these drugs are much faster, and our government doesn't have the manpower to keep up with them as they relabel it and resell it as something else. Sure, it almost reminds me also of the drug salvia. Am I pronouncing that correctly? That was something that it was being sold as incense. Right. But in actuality, that's not what these teens and whomever were using it for. Right. It was synthetic marijuana, and they were using it as or claiming it was incense, but it was actually synthetic marijuana. This is like a synthetic cocaine. And they're selling it as bath salts and plant food. But are they snorting it? How are they taking it? They're snorting it, they're smoking it, they're even injecting it directly into their veins, which is lethal. It's all lethal. Wow, and you said it's very cheap. So you have very young people buying this. That's right. They can go into these smoke shops. Have a friend who's 18 is all it takes to go into these shops. Sure. And KTLA and A Better Tomorrow as a team have gone and done several experiments with these places, and young people younger than 18 can just walk in and they don't get carded or ID'd. Well, what kind of damage is it doing to your body if you're taking this? It causes severe effects on the central nervous system again, like we said, and it affects the heart and the brain, and more importantly, the psyche. And so it's causing people to act out ready to murder people and hurt people or themselves. Yeah, unfortunately, this is something probably that's going to be sticking around for a while. We'd love to have you come back, Tammy, and talk about it. Yeah. All right, we appreciate you coming in. Nice to see you tonight. Tammy, thank you.